Hello everyone and welcome to W3L Wrestling Showdown here, where else? On the W3L network. Thank you for joining me. And last week, of course, I told you about Resolution 12, our biggest event of the year, happening on September 21st in the Rothes Halls in Glen Rothes. I told you as well that as part of that event, as one of the many awesome things happening in that event, we'll be seeing the return of former Impact Wrestling star Bram to the Worldwide Wrestling League. The question is, who is going to face him? Since announcing Bram, managers have been inundated with calls, emails, texts, messages, you name it. Wrestlers from both in and outside W3L have been getting in touch because they want to go toe to toe with the king of all evil, Bram. But who is it going to be? Who is going to face him? Well, I guess we're going to find out as the weeks roll on. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I've ever been quite interrupted like that before. You've just heard from Luke Aldridge, and it sounds like he wants a piece of Bram. Is that what's going to happen? Are we going to see Aldridge versus Bram at Resolution 12? Well, stay tuned to W3L and all our social media platforms, and we'll tell you as soon as it's been confirmed or ignored, as the case may be. But it looks like Aldridge wants Bram. Will he get it? Who knows? If you want to see Bram in action at Resolution 12, you can, but that's not all, because of course, not only do we have Resolution 12 that weekend, but the following 2 days we go to Guiseley and to Todmorden as well. We're returning to England, meaning all our English fans, and there are a lot of them, can celebrate Resolution weekend with us. Bram is going to be involved in all 3 of those events, and if you want to see him, you can get tickets from our website, and if you use the word BRAM, B-R-A-M, before the end of August, you can have 30% off them. Not front row, unfortunately, but general access tickets. 30% off if you use the word Bram. Now, speaking of Resolution, speaking of our biggest event of the year, 2 men who want to be part of it in some way, shape or form are about to go head to head right now. Dickie Divers is on a roll. He's still the Wrestling Showdown champion, having overcome Looking Sharp at our Summer Spectacular. Joey Legend is a former heavyweight champion and wants to get back in the title picture. Can he defeat Divers and raise the Wrestling Showdown Championship to add to his vast collection of belts that he's held over the years? Or is Divers' reign going to continue? Let's find out by going down to ringside for this week's match.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Fordyce with you on Wrestling Showdown, and we have the very first ever defence of the Wrestling Showdown Championship here on Wrestling Showdown. We last saw Dickie Divers, this man in the black and pink singlet, who the referee's trying to check as we speak, back in June when he won the tournament and defeated Mike Musso to claim the championship. This is the first defence of that here on Wrestling Showdown, and Divers got a massive test ahead of him, facing former heavyweight champion Joey Legend, and a popular Joey Legend as well, crowd firmly on his side. Understandable considering the actions of Divers in the past. I mean, he's not really made himself a very likeable person, but with all the stuff he did as part of the contingency plans, quartet of tag team championship reigns, the way he split up with Taylor Bryden, and of course the way he won the Wrestling Showdown Championship tournament, which has endeared him to his audience whatsoever. However, things are on Divers' side. He did defend the championship at our Summer Spectacular, so he has a little momentum. Joey Legend was last on Showdown at the end of December, facing Blondie Barrett for the Heavyweight Championship. He won the match by disqualification. This was Barrett's way back then. Of course, the title now around the waist of Mike Musso. And who knows if we'll see Legend versus Musso in the future. Neither man in a hurry to start this one off here. The crowd just getting up in his case. Divers quite content to jaw with the crowd. He is a master of that kind of thing. They've thrown you off, and it's almost like a popularity contest. Crowd booing Divers. Legend trying to rev them up. And they don't need a lot of encouragement, as to be said. They do like this Canadian native. And Divers just jaw-jacking with the fans. He does this quite a lot, and he's just a way of making his opponent wait, almost throw them off. They're revved up and ready to go, and Divers just takes his time. He's quite casual about it, but you know, he's always watching, always thinking, and will take the advantage of any opening and any opportunity. Hang on, Divers going to have a go now. The crowd won't even clap along with them. They are not having any of this. They don't want to support Divers in any way. When the chorus of boos rings out, and if the title could change hands on popularity alone, Legend would have that championship firmly around his waist as we speak. The crowd more reactive to him, definitely. Yeah, quite clearly. Oh, hang on, Divers arguing with John Shock.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, a message from the defending champion. He told me to tell you, if you don't cheer him, he is going home.
Well, I'm not sure what kind of ultimatum that is. I mean, the audience don't really like Divers, so they'd be glad to see the back of him. Because the downside to that is that I guess he'd lose by count out, so he would retain the title, unless he'd end up forfeiting it to Legend. I'm not really sure. But suffice to say, I don't think they're going to cheer him. No, they're definitely going to cheer him. So Divers is off. Heading backstage isn't enough. And I guess Legend's going to back counter, right? Discussing with the referee. Yeah, referee's applying the count. Divers is returned to watch. I mean, he would retain the title. He wouldn't get the winner's share of the purse, to be fair, but I mean, he'd stay champion. Legend wanting to come back in. The crowd like that idea as well. They want to see Divers be knocked around by Joey Legend. The match has happened once before, if you watch Showdown back in August of last year. So Joey Legend defeating Dickie Divers. No championships on the line in that match. Of course, there's a slight irony as Divers jumps Legend from behind. Legend made a slight mistake, playing the crowd a little too much, and Divers took that advantage. That's like I said, he'll play the crowd, he'll, you know, do daft things, he'll almost make you laugh, and you think that he isn't concentrating, but he's watching you. He's got eyes like a hawk as Dickie Divers. They can spot an opening a mile off, and as soon as he sees that one of your defences is dropped, the slightest chink in your armour, he strikes. And this is a perfect example of it. Legend retaliating with some solid fists. He bounces Divers off the ropes, and a massive hip toss virtually right across the ring. I set up the hospital job earlier. That's how Legend defeated him before. This is the fourth time they've wrestled, I mentioned before the main showdown. At our 200th event in Glenrothes, there was a big tag team match. It was Divers and Taylor Bryden against Legend and Mike Musso. And then they met briefly in the opening round battle royal of 7 Deadly Sins, if you will remember that. I'm sure you've seen the W3L Network special. The DFL Divers was eliminated relatively quickly, but he and Legend were both involved in the contest, so arguably they might have crossed paths. Legend got all the way to the finals. They lost to Johnny Lyons in a hard fought last man standing match. Divers was knocked out of the quarterfinals by eventual winner Johnny Lyons. It's a bit of Legend yet again. Because we saw what happened, it was Taylor Bryden distracted him. Lyons got the victory. Divers cost Bryden his spot in the quarterfinals. There's a lot of animosity between those two men. Bryden hasn't been around, he was banned from the building during the finals of the championship tournament. Just to preserve the integrity of that match, management said. As Divers getting his face battered off every top turnbuckle we have. Bet you're glad it's not a 6-sided ring. Here comes the last one. And Divers, like got shot out of a cannon. Went 10 times at that turnbuckle. And Ledge just biding his time. It's like a walk in the park for Dewey Legend, you have to think. Hospital job again, and Divers once more goes to the floor. Now Legend knows the hospital job will get him the job done, no pun intended. He's beaten Divers with it before, he's won other matches with it before. Divers knows what's coming and is trying to avoid it like the plague. Because if he takes it, he's beaten, that's what's going to happen. And so he goes to the floor yet again. And Legend used that move to great effect because this is regularly in Europe. So competing most weekends as Dewey Legends, he's certainly no slouch. Divers wrestles regularly as well with here in W3L and beyond. Legend's trying to get the referee to stop his counter thing because he doesn't want Divers to be counted. Oh, hang on! Third time unlucky for Divers. Maybe Legend goaded him in slightly. He's winding up that fist and pokes him right in the eye. Now remember, Dewey Legend can break the rules to the best of them. I mean, he wasn't always the kind of beloved hero to these fans. I mean, some of his actions were frankly despicable. If you go to the archives of Showdown, you know what I mean. And there's an irony in that when Legend was heavyweight champion, a title he held for 10 months and more, he often had the contingency plan working with him. He was allied with him, it seemed at times. But of course, it's all water under the bridge. Legends had a change of heart. The contingency plan appeared to be no more. Divers has struck out on his own. Now the first ever Wrestling Showdown champion, crashing heavily into his turnbuckle pads. As I mentioned before on previous editions of Wrestling Showdown, when you hit those pads hard, the padding, it's almost like it's not there, it's just a thick metal hook underneath. And so it can only end up damaging Divers' back. And a handful of hair takes down Dewey Legend. And a big clothesline as well. This is great for Divers the way he's recovered. He's getting bounced around, smacked about by Dewey Legend. And as soon as he spots that opening, just like I was saying earlier, he takes him down and goes for a cover here. Doesn't apply a lot of weight across the shoulders, however. Big as a handful of hair, throws down Legend and clotheslines him. And Divers is not a man to be counted out. You can never expect you've got the better of him, because until you've pinned him for a count of 3 until he's submitted, he is a danger and he can turn this match back on you. We've seen that countless times. He's got trapped. He's kicking him, much like we saw Tim Wiley do last week. And Divers now revelling in the apathy of this audience. He's throttles Legend in the open there. It looks like Divers is going under the ring for something. He's grabbed a chair. Now, the Wrestling Showdown Championship is fought under standard wrestling rules. If he uses this, he will be DQ'd. The title will not change hands, of course, but he will lose the match. And Legends dragged him around the building. You see if a capacity crowd in hand. And Divers at the back of the building and gets introduced right in the wall. This building has seen its fair share of brawls. Dewey Legend and Mike Musso fought over this place once. And Divers maybe regretting going to the floor and bringing out that chair, because it's basically opened the window for the street fight part of this match. So obviously not an official street fight, but the referee being very, very lenient, not count them out, let them fight on the floor. And Legend gets bounced right through the doors. Now if Divers can lock them, perhaps Legend will get counted out. There's a possibility that he's going after him. And they've gone out into the foyer. Now I'm not sure if a cameraman out there, has to be said. Now wait a minute, is that them at the far side? I think it is. They've come back in the other door. I can only imagine the trail of carnage they've left between those doors and the foyer. And Legend is the one that's suffering here. He's what's on the back foot. Divers seems to have this match firmly going his way. And he retrieves that chair again. Now I'm not sure why we bring this in. It goes for a cover. Legend kicking out, however. So I'm not really sure why he's bringing the chair, because obviously he will get disqualified and lose the match if he uses it. But is it a sign that he's worried about what Legend might do, that he might end up losing? So he's got it as an insurance policy of sorts. And currently it's just lying under the turnbuckles, so it's not really become a factor in the matches yet. Both men trying for a vertical suplex and blocking it. Lovely reversal by Legend. Snaps over Dickie Divers, who lands heavily. Both men getting the wind knocked out of them. Referee applying that count to 10. They're just enjoying this. Let's see Legend back to his feet. Let's see a championship change hands. Legend may not change hands, but he's certainly using his hands. He's got some solid fists as Joey Legend, and he can use them to great effect. And a huge punch. Whoever he was setting up for, it gets cut off by that knee lift from Dickie Divers. Again, this match turning back and forth. Divers in for the cover and pressing down the face and jaw of Joey Legend, just trying to hold him down that little bit further. Divers getting frustrated. I think it should have been a 3, but Legend's a hard man to put away when he retained that heavyweight championship numerous times. You know, right, a lot of times because he attacked referees and matches went to no contest and like, but he's a fantastic competitor, you have to give him that. He gets a foot up. And again, takes some distance. Huge clothesline to Dickie Divers. Legend throwing everything into that one, and again both men are down, gasping in lungfuls of air, able to get ready to get back up to contain this fight. Legend would dearly love to claim the Wrestling Showdown Championship, get another belt around his waist here in W3L. Divers wants to retain it. I mean, he's only just won the damn thing. He doesn't want to be losing it so soon after getting it. Legend with his palm strikes. He smacks you right in the temple, so it really makes you reel. It's very hard to concentrate, you know where you are. Divers barely able to stand. And another palm strike right to the forehead, and down goes Divers. Legend setting them up. We know what's coming up. And lands the oh my god elbow with pinpoint accuracy. He covers him. We may have a new champion. But Divers is able to roll a shoulder. Legend maybe could have put a bit more weight across them. But the match is still going his way. This has been back and forth. Neither man's really a sustained advantage. Legend just biding his time. Could we go for a stone cutter? Ducks that clothesline. Could go for a stone cutter again and lands it. Hits the stone cutter. Divers gets turned inside out almost. Applies the cover, but Divers just kicks out no more. How he got the shoulder up be anybody's guess. Legend hit the stone cutter and Divers somehow got a shoulder up and rolls to the floor. Crawling along, trying to make some space. He can't be pinned when he's out there on the floor. Legend electing not to fall after him just yet, but doesn't want the count out. Once Divers back in the ring so he can win this title properly. Divers has grabbed the chair and right in the head of Joey Legend. Just flung it right in his head. And I think Divers realised the match is going to go in his favour, so he just decides to smash with the chair. He'll retain the title, albeit by disqualification. So he doesn't get the victory, but he keeps the belt, and they're just continuing the assault, adding insult to injury. They haven't resort to using a chair, and they're threatening the referee. They'll get him fined by management. The referee getting the hell out of there. And Divers not finished yet. He wants to make a statement. And who better to do it on than something like Joey Legend? He's setting up his grab the chair. And wait a minute, who's this? It's Johnny Lyons, the 7 Deadly Sins winner disarms Dickie Divers, grabs the chair, and Divers gets out there. Joey Legend saved from further damage by the one of the 7 deadly sins, the man that beat him in the finals of that tournament, Johnny Lyons, here on Wrestling Showdown.
So the championship stays with Dickie Divers, and this means he will head towards Wrestling 12, still Wrestling Showdown champion. But there's still a bit of time between then and now, and it doesn't mean that Divers will still be champion come Resolution. And that is a situation that faces Mike Musso. He's the W3L heavyweight champion, and he's currently scheduled to face the 7 deadly sins winner, tenacious Johnny Lyons in Glen Rothes, for the heavyweight championship. But Musso has championship defences coming up, so he is in a very real danger of losing the title before the biggest W3L event of the year. As for Johnny Lyons, he's got his sights set on the heavyweight title. He is a Glen Rothes native, that's where he stays. The event is in his backyard. He may have never beaten Mike Musso, but he feels he's going to be closer than ever. He's been training heavily, he's been preparing himself, and hopefully in the weeks coming up here on Showdown we're going to hear from Johnny Lyons and hear his preparation is going. And to further add to his confidence, his good friend and top Scottish rap star Minches is going to be coming to ringside with Johnny Lyons. If you've seen Minches before, you'll know just how awesome he is, and he's going to bring Lyons to the ring at Resolution 12 regardless of who the heavyweight champion is going to be. And certainly, in the case of Johnny Lyons, it's going to be the tenacious one, hopefully leaving with the title. But saying it and doing it are two massively different things. Will Musso still be champion at Resolution 12? If not, who will it be? Will Lyons raise the belt at Resolution 12? Will he finally win the title that has eluded him for so long? You're going to find out September 21st in Glen Rothes. And then make sure you join us on the 22nd, 23rd in Guiseley and Todmorden as we head south of the border for more top W3L action with all the Resolution fallout as we hit England. Come along to as many of those events as you can. You will not regret it. You can pick up your tickets from our website w3lwrestling.com. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, join us over on Instagram, subscribe to the very channel you happen to be watching right now, and of course use the hashtag W3L Wrestling Showdown. Who do you want to see at Resolution? Should Bram face Luke Aldridge? Will Dickie Divers still be Wrestling Showdown champion? Will it still be Musso versus Lyons? Who's going to be the new women's champion? So much more is to be announced and decided in the weeks to come, so stick with us right here on Wrestling Showdown. Join us on Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff, and come back here in 7 days time. I'll bring you more news about Wrestling 12 and more fantastic W3L Wrestling Showdown.